Namaste. Today we will discuss the fifth lesson for the BCom second semester students of Rani Chennamma University, Belagavi. The title of the lesson is A Heartbreaking Recount of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's Last Moments, written by Srijan Pal Singh. Recount, R-E-C-O-U-N-T, means to tell or to narrate. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರೂಪಣೆ. Srijan Pal Singh is an electrical engineer and a management graduate. He is an alumni of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Alumni means old student, ಹಳೆಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ. He was awarded the gold medal for the best all-rounder student from IIMA. He is an author, public speaker and activist. He co-authored a book entitled Target 3 Million with APJ Abdul Kalam. Srijan Pal Singh was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's companion for a long time and was with him in his last moments. Companion, C-O-M-P-A-N-I-O-N, companion means friend. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಜೊತೆಗಾರ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತ. The present memoir was posted on Facebook on July the 27th, 2015 by Srijan Pal Singh after Abdul Kalam, an inspiring personality, passed away during an address to students at IIM Shillong. Memoir, M-E-M-O-I-R, memoir means biography, ಆತ್ಮಚರಿತ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಘಟನಾವಳಿ. It brings out the lessons of life that Kalam had taught the author and beauty of Kalam's humility in spite of his astounding success in life. Humility, H-U-M-I-L-I-T-Y, humility means vinaya. The aura of Kalam is felt throughout this memoir. Aura, A-U-R-A, aura means Divyakanti. In the first paragraph of the lesson, the writer talks about the particular day on which Abdul Kalam died, that is July the 27th. And he says how the day went with Kalam from the morning till evening. He says, "It has been 8 hours since we talked. Sleep eludes me and memories keep blushing down sometimes as tears." After the death of APJ Abdul Kalam, Srijan Pal Singh says he is not able to get sleep. Eludes, E-L-U-D-E-S, eludes means jari hogu, kaledu hogu. And he says the memories which he had with Abdul Kalam are flushing down sometimes like tears from his eyes. Flush, F-L-U-S-H-I-N-G, flushing means ನೀರಿನಂತೆ ಹರಿಯುವುದು, flow. Our day, July the 27th, began at 12 noon when we took our seats in the flight to Guwahati. IIM Shillong is situated in Guwahati, and they started their journey at 12 on July the 27th in a flight, in an aeroplane. Dr. Kalam was first class A and I was first class C. He was wearing a dark colored Kalam suit and I started off complimenting. Nice color. Little did I know this was going to be the last color I will see on him. On that day, Kalam was wearing a dark colored suit, which is very often called as Kalam suit, and Srijan Pal Singh compliments the color of the suit. Compliment means C-O-M-P-L-I-M-E-N-T. Compliment means ಮೆಚ್ಚುಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಹೊಗಳು. Long 2.5 hours of flying in the monsoon weather. I hate turbulence and he had mastered over them. Whenever he would see me go cold in shaking plane, he would just pull down the window pane and say, "Now you don't see any fear." Srijanpal sings, he is afraid of the turbulence of the aeroplane when it is taking off or when it is flying. But Abdul Kalam was very much mastered the air and turbulence of aeroplane. That was followed by another 2.5 hours of car drive to IIM Shillong. For these two-legged trip of 5 hours, we talked, discussed, and debated. These were amongst hundreds of the long flights and longer drives we have been on together over the last 6 years. As each of them, this was special too. 3 incidents, discussions in particular will be lasting memories of our last trip. Srijanpal Singh says, Abdul Kalam and he had a 2.5 hours of flying journey and another 2.5 hours of drive through the car. And he says, in these 5 hours, they discussed and they debated and they have made some points about the lecture which Abdul Kalam was going to give it at IIM Shillong. It seems man-made forces are as big a threat to the livability of Earth as pollution, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam says to Srijanpal Singh. In the second paragraph or the first point, Abdul Kalam is talking about how man-made forces are a threat to the earth, and he is of the opinion that it is because of human folly, it is because of human greed, it is because of human desires the earth is at a risk. First, Dr. Kalam was absolutely worried about the attacks in Punjab. Abdul Kalam is very much worried about the terrorist attacks in Punjab. The loss of innocent lives left him filled with sorrow. He was very much sad to know that a lot of innocent people have died in the terrorist attack. The topic of the lecture at IIM Shillong was creating a livable planet Earth, and Srijanpal Singh mentions the topic about which Abdul Kalam was going to speak at IIM Shillong. The title of the lesson was Creating a Livable Planet Earth. Abdul Kalam means he related the incident to the topic and said, Abdul Kalam says, it seems man-made forces are as big a threat to the livability of Earth as pollution. Abdul Kalam says that both the pollution which is created by human beings and the weapons or the technology which we have invented are a great threat for the earth. We discussed how if this trend of violence, pollution and reckless human action continues, we will be forced to leave the earth. And Abdul Kalam says, if this activity goes on without relenting, the earth will not bear all the forces which we are creating on it. And he says, we are supposed to leave the earth in 30 years, coming 30 years. 30 years at this rate, maybe he said, you guys must do something about it. It is going to be your future world. Abdul Kalam is of the opinion that if we the human beings go on doing all the bad things which we are doing on earth, in 30 years the entire earth will be a sad place to live, and we the human beings have to leave the earth and must find another world to live. I really need to find out a way to ensure that the parliament works on developmental politics. Abdul Kalam is very much worried about our political activities and our politicians, and he says he wants to bring about a change in parliament, and he wants to bring about a developmental politics in Indian parliament. Our second discussion was more national. For the past 2 days, Dr. Kalam was worried that time and again Parliament, the supreme institution of democracy, was dysfunctional. Abdul Kalam says the highest institution of democracy, the Parliament, is not functioning at all. It has come to stand still. He said, I have seen two different governments in my tenure. He says, Abdul Kalam, being the President of India, had saw two different governments at the center. And he says both of them were very different and both of them had a different approach towards the development of the nation. I have seen more after that this disruption just keeps happening. And he says no government is good. Both the governments which he saw were not talking about developmental politics, rather they were talking about a different kind of development, he says. It is not right. I really need to find out a way to ensure that the parliament works on developmental politics. Abdul Kalam says he wants to contribute for the developmental politics in Indian democracy. He then asked me to prepare a surprise assignment question for the students at IIM Shillong, which he would give them only at the end of the lecture. He wanted them to suggest 3 innovative ways to make the parliament more productive and vibrant. Abdul Kalam is very much worried about the dysfunctionality of the parliament and he wants to make it productive and vibrant. Vibrant, V-I-B-R-A-N-T, vibrant means medieval. Tenure, T-E-N-U-R-E, tenure means avadi. Then after a while he returned to it. But how can I ask them to give solutions if I don't have any myself? He says, first I need to find an answer to the developmental politics, then only I can ask the students of IIM Shillong to write a correct answer for his assignment. For the next 1 hour, we discussed option after option and he came up with his recommendation on the issue. And Abdul Kalam had a recommendation and about the developmental politics, and he says, the writer says, Rajanpal Singh says, we wanted to include this discussion in our upcoming book Advantage India. Are you tired? Would you like something to eat? I am sorry you had to stand so long because of me. Here in this particular stanza, the writer is talking about the humility of APJ Abdul Kalam and his down-to-earth personality. Third was an experience from the beauty of his humility, H-U-M-I-L-I-T-Y. Humility means Vinaya. We were in a convoy of 6-7 cars. Dr. Kalam and I were in the second car. Ahead of us was one open gypsy with 3 soldiers in it. 2 of them were sitting on either side and one lean guy was standing atop, holding his gun. There were 6-7 cars which were following Abdul Kalam's car to the IIM Shillong, and there was one gypsy jeep in front of his car, and there were 3 soldiers in the jeep. 2 were sitting and one was standing holding a gun in his hands. 1 hour into the road journey, Dr. Kalam said, why is he standing? He will get tired. This is like punishment. Can you ask a wireless message to given that he may sit? I had to convince him he has been probably Instructed to keep standing for better security, he did not relent. We tried radio messaging, that did not work. For the next 1.5 hours of the journey, he reminded me thrice to see if I can hand signal him to sit down. Finally, realizing there is little we can do, he told me, I want to meet him and thank him. Abdul Kalam was very much worried about the soldier who was standing in his in a vehicle which is going in front of him, because he says he might be tired, and he asks his friend Sarjanpal Singh to make a signal for that soldier to sit, but it was not possible. And finally, Abdul Kalam asked Sarjanpal Singh to bring that soldier and meet him in the at IIM Shillong. Later, when we landed in IIM Shillong, I went inquiring through the security people and got hold of the standing guy. I took him inside and Dr. Kalam greeted him. He shook his hand, said, Abdul Kalam thanks the soldier who was standing throughout the journey. Thank you, buddy. Are you tired? Would you like something to eat? I am sorry you had to stand so long because of me. The young lean guard, draped in a black cloth, was surprised at the treatment. Lost for words, he just said, Sir, आपके लिए तो 6 घंटे भी खड़े रहेंगे. This was the respect Abdul Kalam had from every Indian. And the soldier says, Sir, I am ready to stand for 6 hours for you. That was the words which were said by the soldier. Students should never be made to wait. After this, we went to the lecture hall. He did not want to be late for the lecture. Students should never be made to wait, he always said. Abdul Kalam always said that students should not be made to wait for the lecture. And he went hurriedly to the lecture hall, and he is preparing to give the lecture. I quickly set off his mic, briefed him on that final lecture, and took my position at the computer. As I pinned his mic, he smiled and said, Funny guy, are you doing well? Funny guy, when said by Kalam, could mean a variety of things, depending on the tone and your own assessment. It could mean you have done well, you have messed up something, you should listen to him, or just that you have been plain lame, or he was just being jovial. Over 6 years I had learned to interpret funny guy like the back of my palm. This time it was last case. Funny guy, are you doing well? He said. I smiled back. Yes, those were the last words he spoke to me. These are the last words which were being spoken by Abdul Kalam to Sarjanpal Singh. 2 minutes into the speech, sitting behind him, I heard a long pause after he had completed a sentence. I looked at him, he fell down. After starting his speech for 2 minutes, there was a long silence, and Abdul Kalam fell down unconscious. We picked him up as the doctor rushed. We tried whatever we could. I will never forget the look in his 3/4 closed eyes, and I held his head with one hand and tried reviving him with whatever I could. His hands clenched, curled onto my finger. Abdul Kalam's hands were clenched, the hands of Sarjanpal Singh. There was stillness on his face, and those wise eyes were motionlessly radiating wisdom. Even after his death, his eyes were radiating, radiating, radiating means shine, ಹೊಳೆಯುತ್ತಿರು. Wisdom means jnana, W-I-S-D-O-M. Wisdom means knowledge or jnana. He never said a word. He did not show pain. Only purpose was visible. In 5 minutes we were in the nearest hospital. In another few minutes they indicated the missile man had flown away forever. After some 5 minutes, the body of or the unconscious body of Abdul Kalam was taken to a nearby hospital, and the doctor declared that the missile man Abdul Kalam is died and he flown away forever. I touched his feet one last time. Adieu, old friend, grand mentor. See you in my thoughts and meet in the next birth. These are the last words of Srijanpal Singh. He says, touching the feet of Abdul Kalam, he says, Adieu, old friend. A-D-I-E-U. Adieu means goodbye. Grand mentor, mentor, M-E-N-T-O-R. Mentor means teacher, Shikshaka. And he also wished that he wants to meet Abdul Kalam in his next life. First you tell me, what will you like to be remembered for? President, scientist, writer, missile man, India 2020, target 3 billion, what? Asked Srijanpal Singh. And the reply of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was teacher. He wants to be remembered as teacher after his death, which was his long wish. As I turned back, a closet of thoughts opened. After the death of APJ Abdul Kalam, Srijanpal Singh remembers one particular moment when Abdul Kalam said that he must be remembered as a teacher after his death. Often he would ask me, you are young, decide what would you like to be remembered for. I kept thinking for new impressive answers till one day I gave up and resorted to tit for tat. I asked him back. Every moment Dr. Abdul Kalam would ask Srijanpal Singh for what he might be remembered after his death. But one day Srijanpal Singh questions the same question to Abdul Kalam, and his answer was, I thought I had made the question easier by giving options, but he sprang on me a surprise. Teacher, he said. Abdul Kalam was supposed to be remembered, not remembered as president, scientist, writer, missile man, India 2020, target 3 billion, but he was willing to be remembered as teacher after his death. One is blessed if one can die working, is the motto of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Then something he said 2 weeks back when we were discussing his missile time friends. He said, children need to take care of their parents. Abdul Kalam is very much worried about the old folk, and he says all the children or every child must take care of his parents. It is sad that sometimes this is not happening. He paused and said, two things elders must also do. And he says, what parents should do to their children. He says, never leave wealth at your deathbed that leaves a fighting family. Abdul Kalam says, you should not leave a lot of wealth at your deathbed, which may lead for the fighting of the brothers. And second, one is blessed if one can die working, standing tall without any long drawn ailing. And he also said, one must die working. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಸವಣ್ಣನವರು ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ ಕಾಯಕವೇ ಕೈಲಾಸ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ತತ್ವದ ಅಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ಕಲಾಂ ಸೇಸ್ one must die working, and he also says one must die without suffering from any disease. Goodbyes should be short, really short. And he says after the death people should not cry for us. Today I look back, he took the final journey teaching what he always wanted to be remembered doing. And as Abdul Kalam said, he died while he was teaching to the students, and till his final moment he was standing. Till his last moment, Abdul Kalam was standing and he was working and he was lecturing. He left us a great teacher, standing tall. Abdul Kalam was a great teacher to be remembered for a long time. He leaves the world with nothing accumulated in his account but loads of wishes and love of people. After the death of Abdul Kalam, we come to know that there was no amount in his bank accounts, or there was no big building in his name, and there was no land. He was he was having only the wishes and love of lot of people. He was successful even in his end. We miss all the lunches and dinners we had together. We'll miss all the times you surprised me with your humility and started me with your curiosity. We'll miss the lessons of life you taught in action and words. We'll miss our struggles to race to make it to flights, our trips, our long debates. You give me dreams. You showed me dreams need to be impossible, for anything else is a compromise. To my own ability, the man is gone, the mission lives on. Long live Kalam, your indebted student Sarjanpal Singh. At the end of his life, Abdul Kalam died teaching, died working, and he did not suffer from any long ailing disease, which were the wishes of Abdul Kalam. Thank you very much.